there, I just showed you, is the Tuesday 10K guaranteed free roll. And we played. And when I say we, me, Grace, and Dan, we played. We had a bet. And the bet goes like this. Whoever goes out in third and whoever goes out in second on the live stream tomorrow, which we're playing the... what are we playing tomorrow, Grace? 1-3,000 max game. And the two losers have to meow for the first hour?
First half an hour. We said half an hour because it would get kind of redundant.
First half an hour, we have to meow every time we enter a pot. Okay, so I was invited here. So you would think that the general consensus of the crowd would be to root for me. It's not. Watch this footage, you'll see. Nobody was rooting for me. Okay, so that's that. Back to the cash game streets. Gonna mix it up. Gonna gamble a little with these guys, and hope we can keep the run good continuing. So let's go battle. Guys, we don't need no intro. You know who I am. You know where we're at. We're at the Lodge, third straight vlog from the Lodge. Next week, we'll wrap up our trip there. Head on down there. It's right outside of Austin, a little town called Round Rock. Super nice people there. The dealers are great. The players are not so great. Here I have King Jack. I call a raise because, you know, I have King Jack. I have 2/5 of a royal flush. Flop top pair. Going to go with the natural flow in the hand and check it. And then, you know, see what happens, see what develops, see what's going to go on next. Well, my under-the-gun +2 opponent decides to bet $35, and that is just a dandy price for me, so I come along. Because, like I said, I have top pair, backdoor flush draw. I can hit a king for an overpair, but here comes a jacks, and now I have 3 of them. I have 3 jacks, trip jacks. It's a good hand. I leave the betting flow now and bet $50. I do that for 2 reasons. 1, I can confuse my opponent, and 2, I want my opponent to be confused. Those are the 2 reasons that I did it. So he elects to call the $50. We're going to go to a river card, the final card. Some people call it 5th Street. And I'm looking for an innocuous card. And the King of Hearts, well, that's better than innocuous. It's a full house for me. So obviously I'm going to bet. I go all in. He only has 150 behind. So it's not really, I mean, it isn't all in, but it's not for that much. He, you know, calls because he hates money. And then he flips over pocket aces to show that he had... you know, some bad luck. And did he have bad luck? Sure. Yeah, he did. But I mean, whatever. He didn't have that much money. I had King Jack, so it is what it is. He loses the pot. Sucks for him. Anti-sucks for me. Or is that even unsucks for me? I don't even know the term. Moving on. $10 straddle from the guy in the life vest. And I'm going to look down. And you're not going to believe this. If this hand wasn't on camera, you would not believe it. So I have pocket 6s. And I go in for the very standard 3x raise to $30. I think every single person here listening would do the exact same thing unless you made a mistake. And we're going to see the flop at, what is it, like 3 or 4 ways. And you want, in a situation like this, to flop a set. You want it to have a 6 on this board. I don't think I'm telling you anything that you don't know. Right? I think I'm speaking to the choir. That doesn't sound right. Speaking to the masses. And it comes 6, 7, 8. Not all flop sets are the same, okay? Here I have a set of 6s at 6, 7, 8 rainbow. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's not terrible. The button raises to $150, and then the under-the-gun original straddler, you know, after we count this stupid, because they bet in red chips like morons. Just bet green, but whatever. The under-the-gun player calls, and then for a $100 raise, your boy throws his hands into the muck, and you can see I'm leaving tables here. Don't you worry. I sat there and watched because I needed to be justified. No, dignified. I needed to be right. So I'm up against. Look at these hands I'm up against. This is damn ridiculous. I'm up against pocket 7s and pocket 9s, and look at this river card. OMG. I go from 2nd to 3rd. You know, I never had a chance. Can't believe there wasn't a re-raise in there somewhere, and I'm just lucky. It's another form of running good. You can run good 2 different ways. You can, you know, have aces versus kings and hit a king to get lucky, or you can make these folds that are questionable at the time that end up being perfect. I mean, that was just... I wish I could tell you I had this like super duper read, but really I just had a feeling in the gut of my stomach and I went with it, and you can make fun of me all you want for it, but guess what? I was right. Will I be right all the time? I don't know. I think Dan Harrington said something like, you fold a set on the flop, you're a moron. But Dan Harrington's really old. So here I have queen 4. There was a straddle and a re-straddle, so I made it 75, and then one of the straddlers goes all in for not that much more. He's got 225 total, so I make that call because I'm suited. And he asked to run it twice because he thinks he's behind, which is fantastic news for me because I don't have anything. On the top board, I flop a pair, turn 2 pair, river still 2 pair. And then on the bottom, he's got his hand flipped over there. He's got a, what is he showing, a deuce? Comes, whatever, ace, king. I don't make anything. I should have just ran it one time because I actually outran him. And I would have won. Instead, we chop it up, and that's like kissing your sister unless you have a, really good-looking sister. And that's kind of the problem with these. When you run it twice, you don't always win. Another $7 under the gun straddle, making the pot $11. I mean, we have $11 we're playing for. I got ace jack of clubs here. It's hard to get ace jack of clubs, so I make it 27. Not a huge fan of these weird bets like 7 to 27, but I was the first person to put money in the pot, so it wasn't like I could make it 40 or something. Anyway, the button makes the call, and then the dude there with the hand tattoos, I just tell you who it is. His name's Naked James. He wouldn't care if I told you. He's a cool fella. Going to be featured in the vlog, the next vlog after this. So he decides to check in the dark. We're going to go heads up to a flop. It comes 4, 5, 7, clubby, clubby, clubby. And that's a good hand for me. I check for deception. And it comes to 6 of clubs, and he checks, which means he probably has nothing at all. So I'm just going to go for it. I bet $150 just hoping to God he has. Yeah, he just doesn't. I don't know. What's the best way to play that hand? Put it in the comments below because I don't know. Doesn't seem like that $150 bet was very good. Maybe I should have bet like a quarter. All right, we have a $10 straddle and a $20 straddle, re-straddle. Did I tell you that the poker down in the lodge is good? Because, guys, it's pretty good. I have ace king and make it $80 to go. You don't even have to do anything fancy schmancy down here. You just got to make pick up a hand and then play it aggressively, and they will literally walk over to you, put their hand in your back pocket, pull out your wallet, then open up their wallet, take all of their money from their wallet, and then put it into your wallet and then put it back in your pants. This happened day after day after day. For some reason, I agree to this nonsense. You have to do this with action players. He wants to see a card, so I show him a card. He shows me the 5 of hearts. I bet the flop because, the best he can have is, a heart draw? He really can't have, like, a pair. Well, who knows? He's got the 5 of hearts. I guess he can have any 2 cards. He decides to call in red chips, which, as we know, is a pet peeve of mine. You have, like, 3,000 in black. Just throw in a black chip, James. Come on now. Turn card's a 10. It goes checkity-weckity, and then I guess it goes checkity-weckity times 2. And then the 3 of spades on the river. Now, he told me if this was a heart, he was going to go batshit crazy. But he doesn't. He checks, and then I flip over my hand. And then my hand wins the pot, and he throws his hand where it belongs, which is, in the muck.
We now take a quick commercial break.
You guys were always saying in the comments that you think you're better at poker than me. Prove it. Download Rad Poker. Let's play. It's an app on your phone where you play one-on-one poker, and you get like 6 seconds to make your decision. So it's going to force you to get better at poker by making you make decisions faster. So download the app. Let's play today.
If I've said it once, I've said it 100 times. Double board bomb pops are the nuts. I know you've heard me say this, but I would play an entire game that was just double board bomb pops. Seriously, it's so much fun. This hand that I'm showing you ain't even that good. I just want to, put these double board bomb pots out there so everybody knows how much fun they are because they're so much better. There's more strategy involved, and there's more gamble involved, and anything with strategy and gambling, I'm in. Here I look down at the queen 10 of diamonds. So I have a backdoor flush draw on the top, pair and backdoor flush draw on the bottom. And is this a great hand? I don't know. Probably not, but I don't care. I'm going to start betting because if they fold, then I win the whole pot. And if one person comes along, I probably chop it, right? Unless I'm up against like a king-queen hand or like a 5-7 with draw on the top and pair on the, I don't know. There's some hands that you don't want to be up against, but, I didn't also anticipate betting $50 and having the entire table called. That was not, ideal, But it's what happens, so we gotta deal with it, including Dan. I do want to bust Dan, so if I can get like the perfect card in the turn so that I win all the money and Dan loses all the money, that would be fine with me. Turns an 8 on the top, give me the flush draw. The bottom is whatever, straight draw now, so I got all kind of things going for me. There's 370 in there. I fire out 275. I mean, if they just fold, that's a win. I mean, because, you know, someone could have just a king and beat me. So the button decides he's got a better hand than me, and unfortunately, I'm probably going to agree with him. He makes it 223. Well, it's not really making it anything. The pot's actually going to go lower when everybody folds because he doesn't have as much as my bet was. But I still don't like it. I just, you know, you don't like when somebody puts all the money and you only have a little bit of a hand. The reason Naked James up there is trying to hold on to his hands, we had a little side bet. I don't remember what it was. I'm guessing it's the top board who has the best hand gets whatever I pay him because I end up losing this to him. But here I end up making the straight on the bottom, which is fantastic news because he had ace-king on the top. So actually my queen would have been good on the bottom anyway. But whatever our bet was with Naked James, I lost it. I had to fork over $100. And I don't know, like I said, this is not that interesting of a hand, but I just want you guys to know that these double board bomb pops are the absolute nuts. Well, the lineup is a little bit different, but the action is still the same. As you see, another $10 straddle. And, you know, there's straddles like on every hand. And when Naked James was playing, he would always tell the next person, $20 straddles available. Yeah, that guy puts out $40 straddles available. It never stopped. He wanted the entire table to straddle. Here I have 5-7 of clubs, and I do something I almost never do this, but I decide to limp. I'm usually a raise them up kind of guy, but here I must have had another one of my feelings. So I make it 10. The small blind calls the 10. And then the under the gun straddler does something that's super annoying, I think. Nope, I'm wrong. The big blind calls first. Then the under the gun straddler does something really annoying. Just throws in a quarter. Just a little bit of a tax. So he's opening up the pot. I don't know if he's trying to get off. I don't know what he's trying to do. I don't think he knows what he's trying to do. If you asked him, what are you trying to do with this bet? I think he would tell you, So he bets 25 more, and no one's going to fold. Maybe that's his goal, just to get a little bit of money and then shove it on the flop. You know, he'll stop and go. I don't know. I don't know, because you'd have to ask him. Again, I told you, if you asked him, he wouldn't have any idea either. Because that's the Texas mentality. You ask these players, what are you doing? I don't know. Okay. Flop is 9-5-7, so I nail the flop with my bottom pair. Under the gun bets 40, and he's been squirrely and doing things that annoy me, and so I'm just going to have to make this call, even though the hijack calls. I mean, it's 255 in the pot. It's 40 to call. I mean, you'd be dumb to fold this hand, I think, at this point. Even though the small and the big blind both decided to get out of the way. I guess they just don't like pot odds, or their hands were just that bad, which that's possible too. Turn card's a jack of diamonds, and so my hand improves, kind of. Yeah, I mean, I do have two pair. This dude bets $50 into two people, which would signify strength. He bet into like 13 people on the flop. And then, I'd like to tell you, man, I had this read on this dude. I knew exactly what was going on. But my notes don't say that. My notes only say what I did, which was shove. And then he snapped me off. That's what my notes say. Why? I don't know. Wish I knew. I show 7-5 of clubs and it's good. Who would have thunk it? I don't know. I hate saying that I don't know, but I don't know. I must have. Call this vlog the vlog of feelings. I must have had a feeling. I don't know. Ship me the money, though. Oh, he had cash. Cool. Looking down at 2 9s. Got to pump that one up to $15. Under the gun plus 1 calls me. I was under the gun and made it $15, so you guys should be respecting my raise. Of course, none of them are, because again, this is Texas, and the respecting a raise, that's a sentence, they've never even heard that before. You ask them, what does respect a raise mean? They're like, I don't know, what do you mean? They would have no clue. It's like a foreign language. They all call. I mean, like there's 6 of us in this pot. I barely have any room for the graphics, and because there's 6 people in the pot. The flop comes swell. We have a swell flop, 9-7-5. This is different than when I had pocket 6s, because here I have the top set. Yeah, sure, I'm still losing to straights and stuff, but I have the top set here where the other one I had the bottom set. Completely different hands. Again, don't go folding sets on the flop very often. In fact, I can't believe I folded that one for $100. But anyway, we're past that. Here I bet $35. Under the gun decides, you know what, I have a $35 hand. I'm going to call that bet. The hijack gets out of the way. The button, who I have an avatar of an old man. It's actually a dude named Scotland, good guy from Texas, played on the live stream with us. He's not an old man at all. It could look less like him if it had to. Well, he makes it $140 because that's what Scotland does. The blinds both get out of the way. Then I make it $400 because that's what I do. This is, like I said, this is different than the sixes. This is top set and bottom set, two completely different things. Both very strong, but it depends on what's going on in the game. So the under the gun +1 player now decides, after calling my pre-flop raise and then calling 35 with 10 people behind him, he decides he actually has a hand and puts in all the money, and I of course call. My hand's going to remain good. I have 3 9s. I imagine he had a heart draw. I mean, it would make the most sense. He obviously didn't have a straight because, straights beat sets. And I scooped this pot. Great way to end the session. Everything went my way today. And that's kind of how it's been, pretty much every day in Texas.